Denny Hamlin just dropped a bombshell on NASCAR, and it could be the most emotional moment we've witnessed from him in 2 decades. But here's the twist. A storm is forming behind all the tears, victory celebrations, and fist pumps, and NASCAR may not be prepared. Because while everyone is focused on Hamlin's stunning comeback victory in Las Vegas, something much deeper is going on. And if you think this is just another motorist passing a milestone, think again. This one is personal. This one is historic. This is just the tip of the iceberg for NASCAR's issues. Let us take a step back. On the surface, it seemed like just another fantastic race. Hamlin started from the pole, slid back a little, clawed his way through the pack, and then, like a rocket, blasted past his teammate Chase Briscoe and then Kyle Larson to win the South Point 400 with only 4 laps remaining. It was his 6th win of the season, and more importantly, his 60th career Cup Series victory. That figure 60 does more than just look good on a stat sheet. It places Hamlin in the top 10 of all-time NASCAR wins, tied with Kevin Harvick, and that qualified him for the Championship 4 in Phoenix. But this was not about statistics. This was not about points. This was not even about legacy. When Hamlin got out of his car, everything changed. You did not hear his normal nasty talk, no barbs at the booing crowd, there are no sharp comebacks, just a wobbly voice, watery eyes, and a genuine message that struck everyone square in the chest. This is the part where I usually give the supporters some expletive, but not today. "I appreciate you all so much," Hamlin said, peering out at the Vegas audience, tears barely holding back. "Obviously, I just want to say hello to my father and relatives back home. We hoped to get 60 today, but we didn't think we would. I just put the pedal down in the last 10 laps and made it happen." Hamlin's father, Dennis, is very ill, and that truth hung heavily over this contest. Denny saw this as more than just a win. It was a thank you. It was a goodbye, or perhaps a final tribute. During the post-race press conference, he finally opened out. "He's the one who introduced me to racing. He took me to the track when I was 5. Then I made all of the financial sacrifices necessary to keep going. They sold everything they owned. We almost lost our house several times." Denny saw 60 wins as more than just a number. It was a lifetime of struggle, dreams, and family suffering condensed into a single emotional moment. And, while much of the spotlight was on his tears, Hamlin softly whispered something else, something NASCAR would not be pleased with. The 23 Cohen lawsuit. That's correct. The team he co-owns is now involved in a legal struggle with NASCAR. He didn't go into detail, but knowing that one of the sport's most prominent figures is suing the sport itself, that is a ticking time bomb. How do you applaud someone like that while opposing him in court? How can NASCAR sell its most enthusiastic driver when he may also be its most serious problem? And things grow much more convoluted. Despite his impressive legacy, Hamlin has yet to win a championship. But now, after committing to Phoenix, he has his best shot in years. "This is my biggest win," Hamlin stated. "I've got the home stuff, we've got the litigation stuff, and we only have the Final 4 and the 60. There were so many other elements that influenced today, which is why I consider it my biggest victory." His remarks, however, contained something deeper. Hamlin is 44 years old, he is running out of time, and he knows it. "I mean, truthfully, I don't get nervous anymore," he told me, "but I will at some point because, is this my last chance to do it? Let that sink in." One of NASCAR's greatest drivers is on the verge of winning a championship, facing personal issues, and possibly fighting his final race. Despite all of this, he continues to work. Hamlin devotes more time to simulation testing than almost anyone else in the garage. His crew chief, Chris Gale, stated that Hamlin spent 7.5 hours prepping this week alone. He even ran back to his RV before the race because he remembered a piece of information he hadn't double-checked. When asked what it was, Hamlin just responded, "I can't say." However, he believed it helped him win, so here's the dilemma. NASCAR just witnessed a living great deliver a performance for the ages, motivated by love, fear, history, and revenge, and they have no control over the narrative. Hamlin does, and the people adore it. Now let's look at what occurs when a legend like Denny Hamlin starts shaking up the NASCAR structure. Because following that victory in Las Vegas, pressure, controversy, and mayhem erupted around the rest of the playoff field. And this is where the massive difficulty begins. Hamlin is in. That much is apparent. But what about everyone else? It's panic mode. NASCAR's playoff structure has just been turned upside down, and some of the sport's greatest names are now dangling over the edge. The question is, can NASCAR withstand what comes next? While Denny was wiping away tears and enjoying a career-defining victory, drivers like Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano saw their championship dreams vanish, literally. Blaney crashed early in the race, blew a tire, and finished dead last. He scored only 1 point. 1. That isn't just terrible, it's disastrous. He's now 31 points behind the cut line, with only 2 races remaining to rescue his season. "I'm not very happy right now," Blaney remarked, attempting to remain calm. "But tomorrow morning I'll be optimistic to go to the next race." What's the truth? He needs to win at Talladega or Martinsville or it's over. Logano did not crash, but he might as well have. He gambled with a 2-tire stop, finished 6th, but lost ground. "The closer we get, the more we've got to win," he told me. That is shorthand for panic is real. The same applies for William Byron and Chase Elliott. Both had powerful cars at different periods in the race, but mistakes and miscommunication derailed their finishes. Byron collided with Ty Dillon during a late pit cycle and finished 36th. Elliott received a penalty for dipping outside the box and never really recovered. Now they're both sitting below the cut line, hoping for a miracle in the next 2 races. Let me explain why this is such a huge deal. The NASCAR playoff system is unforgiving. Only 4 drivers make it to the championship race, and with Hamlin already confirmed, there are only 3 seats available. Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell currently have modest cushions. Briscoe remains in 4th place. However, all it takes is 1 poor day, 1 wreck, 1 lousy pit stop, and they might all fall apart. What if someone like Logano, Blaney, or Byron wins at Talladega? This rattles the entire board again. So, while Hamlin is resting his feet, the rest of the garage is feeling the heat. And NASCAR? They're seeing their playoff drama descend into complete anarchy. Because if the wrong drivers are left out, fans will be outraged. These are not tiny names. We're talking about champions, championship favorites, and bestsellers. Imagine a championship 4 without a single Penske vehicle. Imagine Elliott and Byron, 2 of the sport's most popular drivers, missing the cut due to a freak accident or a broken tire gun. This isn't just terrible luck. That is bad for business. That is the underlying danger of what Hamlin has just done. By locking in early, he has become the calm in the midst of a hurricane, and he has nothing to lose. This makes him more deadly than ever. He can experiment with novel arrangements, take huge chances, sit back and watch while everyone else fights over what he already has. He is also aware of this. "If you get enough chances, like eventually just the tides will turn," Hamlin observed. So, did they start turning today? Maybe. Assume Hamlin wins the title. Doesn't that sound like a fairy tale ending? What happens if the person who sued NASCAR also becomes the champion? What happens if the same driver who has been one of the sport's harshest critics becomes its face? That's the nightmare the NASCAR front office refuses to discuss. Hamlin is more than just a driver. He's a team owner, a media personality, and someone who speaks his mind, loudly. If he wins, he will be in charge of the story. Currently, Denny Hamlin is vying for the crown, and nobody is secure. This moment, this Las Vegas victory, is the spark. What happens next might be fire. The Talladega race is the most unpredictable on the program, Martinsville has the highest level of intensity, and Phoenix is waiting at the end, ready to decide everything. But even with weeks to go, Hamlin has pushed NASCAR to confront a topic it does not want to face. What do you do when the hero is also the rebel? What happens when the most emotional win of the year comes from the guy who shakes the entire system? So, do you want Hamlin to win it all? Is this building up for a painful ending? The drama is far from over.